So we are going to be looking at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are on episode 73, and in the last episode, we saw the pretty much carving up the blue Central South American country. In the last episode, we also saw the Cypriots invade into a lot of these Russian areas and into Babylon along with Egypt. We also saw the collapse of the purple team right here, and well, the red team may have had something to do with it, and that is because they wanted to connect up with their Albanian land. And of course, how did I forget? We also saw the creation of the DU, which is pretty much the United Nations of this timeline. Pretty much democratic union is what it's called. Any country can join it as long as you're democratic. But anyways, if you guys do enjoy these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, and it'll help out a ton if we could get there by the end of May, because I will do a tutorial. Make sure to go watch the YouTube short I did. It explains some stuff, even though there's some stuff like the 8. It says in the video that it's the end of April when it's not. So just know that before you go watch it. But we have to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of May, and that video has to get 1,000 likes. Go like and watch that video, subscribe. And anyways, let's go ahead and get into this scenario. We're going to be starting off in Africa, and well, a big moment for Adaria happens. They get full control over their capital city once again, and they are now reunited with the people up here, and it is a democratic country now. These guys are pretty dang democratic, but there is a little area inside of this that does want the whole empire to come back. But that's not super popular because the people of Adaria like this new republic. But anyways, now we need to go over to the Cypriots because they're invading someone again. We see Cypriot troops moving into Kuwait, one of the oldest countries in the world. Of course, it's not the same one from a long time ago, but it is kind of similar. And well, Kuwait is pretty strong, and we actually do see some pushbacks by Kuwait, and it is actually astonishing that they're doing very good in this war. But that all ends as soon as Iran gets involved, and they send a few troops into this, but then, just this. The Cypriots are going to reach out and capture this major city right here. But it is at this point where we see Qatar join in on this war to protect Kuwait, and they actually managed to capture a Cypriot major city. These two have had a pretty good history. They used to be united, but then, well, the freaking Yemen broke that union apart. And then, well, when Yemen fell apart, they both gained land, but they decided not to unite yet. And well, these two, they have a good military combined. They can be up there in some strong countries. Overall, Kuwait is stronger than Qatar, but Kuwait has lost a lot of troops so far. But we do see them actually managing to fully push the Cypriots out of the north, as well as the Persians in the north as well. All while Qatar is still causing trouble inside of this old Babylon area, and well, it's not going good for the Cypriots. We then see the UAE join in on this war to start supplying them. They start supplying Qatar, and well, this is going to add a lot of momentum inside of Qatar's favor. And we also see them sending troops over to Kuwait, and this leads to a major pushback, recapturing this major city. And now the Cypriots are actually losing this war. But the Persians, yeah, they just broke through in this northern front line again and are now capturing more land. It is at this point where we actually see the pink team right here crossing over and, well, in just a matter of days, taking the capital of the UAE. And, well, one of the oldest countries in the world has just lost their capital. Why did they do this? They want more land. They're Renaissance. If you remember, the whole Persian Union fell apart because these guys are Renaissance and wanted to do their own thing in expanding. And the Persian Union was not expanding. And, well, the UAE, yeah, they don't really have any troops, and they have one major city left. Oh, Oman. Oh, Oman just took it. And now the UAE is falling apart. And now the Cypriots are pushing back against Qatar, and they just retook both of their major cities. The invasion of Qatar is now happening, and well, this is a great Cypriot victory with a cut across right here, cutting off the access from Kuwait and Qatar. We then see the Cypriots rushing this land here. Kuwait, the only problem is that they don't really have a good economy right now, and that is because of this war. We just see a major Cypriot push in from all sides. The Persians are going to go capture the capital of Kuwait, and one of the oldest countries in the world has just been defeated. Qatar is facing that same thing, them having to move down over to this area here. They then get fully pushed out of this area here. We then see Qatar surrender. Over in the UAE, it's just a breeze between the two Renaissance nations, being the pink team, and Oman to see who can take more territory. And, well, it's going to end like this, and, well, these two actually do sign a treaty in dividing up this land. But first, let's look up in this Kuwait and Qatar area. In this peace treaty, we see the Cypriots taking over all of this land, and this increases their empire drastically. This is pretty populated land, and it's actually pretty dang wealthy. A lot of people lived here, and they got a lot of major cities from this. But Persia is going to be getting this capital area, and this also increases their population a lot. The Persians are happy, and, well, they didn't get as much land as they wanted to. That is because they want to set up good relations with the Cypriots. Qatar is still here, but it's kind of like a puppet state of the Cypriots. It's just not a main one. It's not classified inside of the Cypriots as a puppet state, but it kind of is. In a peace treaty over in the UAE front, we see the pink team, the pink Persian team, taking all of this land. They didn't want much, and that is only because they only really wanted this close part that was really close to the main Persian land. And the rest is going to go over to Oman, and these guys are now getting kind of big. They now touch up with the the Persian Gulf, and are now pretty dang strong. But Kuwait is gone, Qatar is reduced, and the UAE is gone. These guys are all old countries besides kind of like these two. I mean, Kuwait is older than Qatar, but the UAE is gone, and that was one of the oldest countries in the world. Over in North America, we see the white team violating the treaty that they set up with Massachusetts and invading them on all of fronts. Massachusetts, not expecting this, they just kind of get blitzed through, cutting their country in half, taking over New York. And the white team is going to focus in on these southern areas where they are most populated. They go down into this area without really much of a fight, take New Jersey and Baltimore. And, well, Massachusetts, not ready for this at all, is just going to get squeezed in on all sides, losing ocean access. And soon enough, they fall, and this is just a astonishing quick victory from the white team. In a peace treaty, they get fully annexed. Still not done with the Renaissance stuff, because now we need to go over to Japan. The Japanese move along these islands, which I don't know why they're not colored in Japanese color. And they go and make a landing inside of the yellow team, the yellow Siberian team. And they just absolutely destroy them. These guys have no military, barely even have a population, probably have about like 100 people living in this country. So we just see a complete blitz inside of this tail area. The reason the Japanese are doing this is for oil and a bunch of good resources that are up here. Yeah, like I said, these guys have no military, and that is going to cause countries around this yellow team to jump in. Like the cyan team is going to go take the capital without even a fight. Yeah, these guys are very weak. But then orders from Japan, we see Korea moving into this blue team land, taking the capital city when it was unprotected, and this was very smart by Japan, because Japan did organize this attack. Korea just initiated it. The red team is also going to move into these areas where they used to own, but I'm pretty dang sure the blue team took over a lot of this, which is sad for the red team. While over in Siberia, it's just a complete collapse for the country. It all just pretty much falls over to Japan, and this is bad because these two don't have militaries either. So it's just painful to watch as the Japanese begin moving into both the gray team and this team. There's just nothing anyone can do about this, and that is just because the Japanese are up there in the military rankings, and I will show them in just a second. But these guys are kind of doing what the Japanese did in World War II, just absolutely destroying them. Then we see massive movements into the blue team happening in the north from the Japanese because, well, they cannot be stopped. The red team and the Koreans are also going to get involved in this, and it is just a complete collapse of 4 countries that are up in the north. It's just over. The Japanese are just that strong. The Japanese are the strongest in Asia at this point, if you don't count the Cypriots. There is nothing you can do. I mean, also, the Indonesians are a little bit stronger than them. But now let's look at a peace treaty, and this could end very badly. In a peace treaty, we see the Koreans taking over these provinces. They didn't want more than that. And, well, they actually also are going to get these provinces because they worked hard in the war. The red team right here is going to get granted all of these lands right here. And the Koreans and this red team are getting pretty big. The Japanese annex all of this from the... They annex all this land from Siberia, and they now have a lot of resources. If you thought they were done, you're wrong. The Japanese also go ahead and annex these lands from the blue team that was right here. The Japanese are making a lot of last-minute changes to the peace treaty. They also take all of this because they want to. And like I said, there's nothing stopping the Japanese from doing this. The UN is kind of mad about this. Not the UN, the DU. The reason they are mad about this is because Japan invaded 2 of their members. And this raises the question, why didn't they help out? Simply, the Red Italians, they say they don't want more deaths, but they just don't care. They really just do not care that these 2 were inside of the DU. So, in kind of a jerky move, the Japanese, instead of annexing this, they're just going to destroy the government and just let it go. Really rude to do, but it unites with the purple team that's right here, as well as the purple team gets that part in this. So the purple team actually gained quite a bit of land from this. But because they annexed this, they are very unstable right now. Pretty bad idea to annex all this, but they did. Now the Japanese Empire is growing, and it has a lot more resources than it did when it just had these areas here. And that is going to be the end of this episode. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye. And a special thanks to our members, Laser Taze, Super Norby, Eddie, Gail Martinez, Green Team Mapping, PJ Likes Cheto, King Cheese, and Dark Mapping. Thank you guys.